You walk into a store with $1,300 to spend on a flagship phone, and right next to the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra sits the Oppo Find X9 Pro for just $776. That's a $524 difference for what both companies claim are their best phones. But here is the thing, the cheaper phone actually has a bigger battery, faster charging, and better water resistance. So what is really going on here? Today we are breaking down the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra against the Oppo Find X9 Pro to help you figure out which phone actually deserves your money. We will compare everything from cameras to charging speeds, and I'll show you exactly where that extra $500 goes with the Samsung. By the end of this video, you'll know which phone fits your needs and your wallet better. Let's dive in. Let's start with what you see and feel every day, the design and build quality. The Samsung S26 Ultra measures 6.44 by 3.07 by 0.31 inches and weighs 7.55 ounces. The Oppo Find X9 Pro is slightly smaller at 6.35 by 3.01 by 0.33 inches but weighs more at 7.90 ounces. That 10-gram difference might not sound like much, but you'll notice it during long phone calls or gaming sessions. Both phones use aluminum frames and glass backs, so they feel premium in your hand. But here is where things get interesting. Samsung uses the new Gorilla Glass Armor 2 on the back, while Oppo sticks with regular Gorilla Glass. The Armor 2 glass offers better drop protection and scratch resistance, which matters if you are clumsy with your phone. For water resistance, both phones can handle being dropped in water, but the Oppo actually wins here. The Find X9 Pro has an IP69 rating compared to Samsung's IP68. That means the Oppo can survive high-pressure water jets, not just submersion. If you work in construction or spend a lot of time outdoors, that extra protection could save your phone. Samsung offers 6 color options, including cobalt violet and pink gold, while Oppo keeps it simple with 3 choices: silk white, titanium charcoal, and velvet red. The Samsung also comes with the S Pen built right into the phone, which is great for taking notes or editing photos. Now let's talk about the screens, because this is where you will spend most of your time. Samsung went with a 6.9-inch display with 3120 by 1440 resolution, giving you 498 pixels per inch. Oppo chose a slightly smaller 6.8-inch screen with 2772 by 1272 resolution, which works up to 450 pixels per inch. Both screens look incredibly sharp, and you won't see individual pixels on either one. The real difference comes with brightness levels. Samsung's screen can hit 3000 nits at peak brightness, but Oppo pushes this even higher to 3600 nits. That extra brightness helps when you are trying to read your phone in direct sunlight. Both phones support 120 Hz refresh rates, so scrolling through apps and playing games feels smooth and responsive. Samsung specifically supports HDR content, which makes Netflix shows and YouTube videos look more vibrant. Under the hood is where Samsung starts to pull ahead. The Galaxy S26 Ultra runs on Qualcomm's Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 chip, while the Oppo uses MediaTek's Dimensity 9500. Both are built on the same 3nm process, but the real-world performance tells a different story. In benchmark tests, Samsung scores 3,753 points in single-core performance compared to Oppo's 3,218 points. That's a 17% advantage that you'll notice when opening apps or switching between tasks. The multi-core results are even more impressive, with Samsung hitting 11,259 points versus Oppo's 9,380 points. This 20% difference means the Samsung handles multitasking and heavy workloads much better. For gaming, Samsung's graphics chip scores 7,801 points in demanding tests, while Oppo manages 6,828 points. That 14% advantage translates to smoother gameplay and better frame rates in graphics-intensive games. Both phones offer multiple memory configurations, starting at 12 GB RAM with 256 GB storage. Samsung maxes out at 16 GB RAM with 1 TB storage, while Oppo offers the same top configuration. The key difference is that Oppo uses slightly faster UFS 4.1 storage compared to Samsung's UFS 4.0. Neither phone has a memory card slot, so choose your storage size carefully. Let's move on to cameras, because this is often the deciding factor for many people. Samsung takes a quantity approach with 4 rear cameras led by a massive 200-megapixel main sensor. This sensor uses tiny 0.6 micron pixels, but combines them for better low-light performance. The camera setup includes 2 telephoto lenses offering 3x and 5x optical zoom, plus an ultra-wide camera. Oppo goes with 3 cameras anchored by a 50-megapixel main sensor with larger 1.22 micron pixels. The theory is that bigger pixels capture more light and produce better image quality, especially at night. Oppo includes 1 telephoto camera with 3x zoom and an ultra-wide camera. Samsung's advantage comes from having 2 zoom cameras, giving you more flexibility for distant subjects. The 200-megapixel sensor also lets you crop photos heavily while keeping sharp details. But Oppo's larger pixels should perform better in challenging lighting conditions. Both phones can record 8K video, though you'll burn through storage quickly at that resolution. For selfies, Samsung uses a 12-megapixel front camera, while Oppo bumps this up to 32 megapixels. Now here is where things get really interesting: the battery and charging situation. Samsung sticks with a 5000 mAh battery, which has become standard for their Ultra phones. Oppo absolutely destroys this with a massive 7500 mAh battery. That's 50% more capacity, but the battery chemistry is different too. Samsung uses traditional lithium-ion technology, while Oppo employs newer silicon-carbon battery tech. This advanced chemistry allows Oppo to pack more energy into a similar space without making the phone too thick. In real-world terms, the Oppo should easily last a full day even with heavy use, while the Samsung might need a midday top-up for power users. Charging speeds show another big difference in philosophy. Samsung supports 45-watt wired charging, which can fill the battery in about an hour. Oppo cranks this up to 80 watts, charging that massive battery in roughly the same time. Both phones support wireless charging, with Samsung offering 15 watts and Oppo pushing 50 watts wireless. The Oppo can also wirelessly charge other devices at 5 watts, turning your phone into a charging pad. Software is where Samsung traditionally has an edge. Both phones run Android 16, but with different interfaces on top. Samsung's One UI focuses on productivity with features like multi-window support and the S Pen integration. Oppo's Color OS aims for a cleaner, simpler approach that some people prefer. The big difference comes with update promises. Samsung commits to 7 years of Android updates and security patches. This means your $1,300 investment stays current until 2033. Oppo hasn't made the same long-term commitment, which could affect your phone's lifespan. For connectivity, Samsung wins with more comprehensive 5G support, including millimeter wave bands. These high-speed networks are not everywhere yet, but they're expanding in major cities. Oppo covers most global 5G bands but skips millimeter wave support. Both phones include all the standard features like Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 5.4, and NFC for mobile payments. Now let's address the elephant in the room, that massive price difference. Samsung starts at $1,300 for 12 gigs RAM and 256 gigs storage. Oppo offers the same configuration for just $776. That is a $524 difference, or about 40% less expensive. Even comparing top configurations, Oppo undercuts Samsung by hundreds of dollars. This pricing makes the Find X9 Pro incredibly attractive for anyone wanting flagship features without flagship prices. Samsung justifies the higher cost with better performance, longer software support, S Pen functionality, and brand prestige. Oppo focuses on delivering maximum value with that huge battery, fast charging, and competitive features at a lower price. So which phone should you actually buy? Choose the Samsung S26 Ultra if you want the absolute best performance, plan to keep your phone for many years, use the S Pen for productivity, or prioritize camera versatility with those dual zoom lenses. The extra $500 gets you better processing power, longer software support, and Samsung's polished ecosystem. Pick the Oppo Find X9 Pro if battery life is your top priority, you want the fastest charging available, or you're looking for flagship features at a mid-range price. That massive 7500 milliamps battery and 80-watt charging make it perfect for heavy users who hate being tethered to chargers. The truth is, both phones will handle everything you throw at them with ease. Your choice comes down to whether you value Samsung's premium experience and long-term support or Oppo's focus on battery life and value pricing. There you have it, the complete breakdown of Samsung S26 Ultra versus Oppo Find X9 Pro. The Samsung excels in performance and long-term value, while the Oppo dominates in battery life and pricing. Both phones prove you do not have to compromise on flagship features anymore, whether you spend $776 or $1,300. What matters most is matching the phone to your actual needs and budget. If this comparison helped you decide, smash that like button and let me know in the comments which phone you choose and why. Don't forget to subscribe for more detailed phone comparisons that help you make smart buying decisions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.